All right, guys, welcome back to Home on the Hitch.
So we just finished up Maine and Portland and where else?
Acadia National Park. So we are headed out of Maine. Where are we going?
We are going to New Hampshire.
Well, that's right. We're going to New Hampshire, and we're going here. So you don't want to miss this. Make sure you like and subscribe. Stick around and watch this episode. You don't want to miss this. We're going to tell you all about it today on Home on the Hitch. This place is beautiful.
Stay tuned.
So Scarborough, Maine was kind of a bust for us. It rained the first 24 hours we were here. We are staying at the Wild Duck Campground, which is a very woodsy, sandy surface campground. So it was kind of a super big mess when we got here. So that day was lost. The next day I spent most of the day trying to repair the toilet. So I had that pulled up for 3/4 of the day, replacing all the parts in that, and that's just the joy of RV life. But we did get out yesterday and do some driving around. We went to Higgins Beach, which was pretty cool. We couldn't find a place to park. It was surprisingly still pretty crowded for this time of the year, and there was no parking really available, but it looked pretty. Then we drove down to the Portland Headlight, which is a lighthouse on these huge rock cliffs. There was plenty of parking there. Of course, that was paid, but it was like $5 for 2 hours. So we did get to enjoy that. We walked around the lighthouse and looked at all the cliffs and the rocks. I wish there had been some seals or something kind of up on the rocks. But and while we were there, it got very overcast and quite chilly and quite cold. But it was like quintessential Maine. When you think of a Maine lighthouse, that's what it was. It was overcast, kind of misty in the air, and like 57 degrees. The wind was blowing a little bit, so it was a good experience after all. We didn't get to experience as much as of the Scarborough area as we wanted to, but that's okay. So like I said, we are staying at the Wild Duck Campground. We're about 38 feet long on the trailer, and we have the long bed dually. We're gonna have a hard time getting out of here. It's kind of tight. If you're any bigger than we are, you probably don't want to come here. It's a nice, quiet campground. It's an adult-only campground. I think over 22 or 25, something like that. No kids, which is fine. We have kids. We love kids, but it's been pretty quiet. There's a lot of like marshy, grassy area around here, and Melissa took a bunch of pictures of birds, egrets, and cranes, and God knows what else she took pictures of. But so she got a lot of pictures of that kind of stuff, but it is a nice campground. We're going to see if we can get out of here this morning. We're headed back to the White Mountain range of New Hampshire to a KOA over there, and we're trying to figure out if we're going to go back up Mount Washington or not, but we'll see what happens. It's only about a 90-mile drive to where we're going, so it's going to be a really short travel day today. But we got to finish getting packed up here and see what we can do about getting over there. So, and on a side note, we finally, I guess, have made the big time, because we got notified by one of our Facebook followers this morning that somebody had created shirts with our logo on it and was trying to sell them on Facebook or on some t-shirt website. So I guess we finally made it. Somebody's trying to sell our stuff behind our back. So what do you know?
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Well, it's the lack of air.
My nose is running, my feet smell. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, we made it back to Mount Washington, the summit of Mount Washington. We haven't been here in like 4 years, but it's absolutely beautiful.
You know, it's a little different. So
Yeah.
the weather here changes at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
So the last time we were here, it was quite chilly and overcast and very windy.
It was very windy and in the 30s, and the wind was blowing like 60
and I had
miles
on
an hour.
flip-flops.
Yeah, we
know.
did. Bug.
Oh, no bugs.
No bugs. But yeah, as you can see behind us, absolutely gorgeous views today. It is a little cool, but not super cold.
So I came prepared today. I have on tennis shoes and a coat, and it's beautiful and not windy.
Yeah, but there's a lot
It
of
is a little
people.
chilly.
There's a lot of people up here.
A lot of
There's
people.
A lot of people up here. You can see you got people over here waiting in line to do the summit picture, and it's just like ants on a hill. But there's a lot of ways to get up here. My favorite way to come up here, the only way we've ever come up here, is to drive. But it is a little sketchy at times, and Mel doesn't look out the window
No.
for it because the road's pretty narrow at points, and it's a lot of drop off, so you got to pay attention. There's restrictions on what kind of vehicles you can drive up here, so we're kind of tagging along with Cindy and Pete from Flatlanders RV Travels, and we drove their truck over here because you can't drive a dually. They don't allow dualies up the.
No, and Cindy, you know, is not great on heights.
Yeah, so
but just like me.
Yeah.
So she graciously allowed
she let me
Thomas to drive
which
the truck.
I enjoy.
Yes.
A great deal. So that is the car and the driver is $45, and each additional person is $20. So
it was 110 for the carload.
yeah, so or 105.
I don't know.
Well, some 105, 110, something like that.
You do the math.
The Cog Railroad you can use to get up here as well, and that is exactly what it sounds like. It's a very slow railroad that uses diesel engines to bring a bunch of people up here.
And they have two options. You can go halfway up the mountain for like $50,
Yep.
or you can go all the way up to the summit for around
It's
$90.
$95, I think, and that's a both-way ticket. That's a round-trip ticket, but it's $95 per person right now in September.
That would be horrible if they made you come up here and then walk down.
Yeah, so or they have tours.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you can do a tour, and I'm not 100%. I'll put the price up as to what it is right now in September for the tour, but you get it's a 2-hour tour.
2-hour tour.
Not like Gilligan's Island.
I think it's like $50 or $60 per person, and somebody drives you up here in one of the vans and kind of gives you some information about the area and all about the trail and the mountain. And you have like an hour up here at the summit because it's a half hour up and a half hour down. It's an 8-mile road. I think it's 6,800 feet or thereabouts to the summit. So, but it's definitely above the tree line, and the weather can be way different up here than it is on the bottom. There is actually, Cindy showed me, you can download the Mount Washington app, and it will tell you what the weather is currently up here at the summit and at the base.
Oh, that's pretty
yeah.
amazing.
So we'll kind of flash a picture of that up on the screen so you know which one to download. But yeah, that's pretty handy. So we're enjoying it. There's a gift shop here. There's a weather station.
They have a snack bar.
Yeah.
You can also visit the historic Tip Top Shelter, which
I don't even know what that is.
That is this shelter that's right here on the other side.
Yeah.
That is a shelter that they offer to through hikers for the Appalachian Trail.
So yes, and this is the highest peak on the AT.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the weather station over here where they're monitoring the conditions up here all the time.
So the highest wind, there's a sign over there, and I'll get a picture of it and put it up right here. The highest wind gust, I think, ever recorded by man.
It was in like April of 1935.
It was up here, and it was over.
And it was like 235, 45 miles an hour.
Up here on top of Mount Washington. So everything.
Crazy.
The buildings and everything is all chained down to the rock. Because if not, man, when it got snowy up here and windy, that's like Category 6 or 7 hurricane wind force.
Unbelievable.
So crazy. But definitely worth a day to come up here. But just pack some warm clothes if you're coming during the fall or whatever, because it may turn out to be super cold up here, or you may get surprised and it's not that bad up here today. Actually, there's people walking around in shorts and short sleeves, so it is pretty.
And look, the fall leaves are just now starting to change. You can see all the oranges and the red.
Zoom in real close down there, you can see all the little trails for the ski slopes of all the little ski resorts that are around. But in areas that are hard to recognize the trail, though, they put them along.
Yes, which is what the purpose is. So the problem that the national park system has when people build these things in areas just as memorials or whatever is that it confuses hikers.
Right.
And it can really get you in a horrible predicament if you don't know what you're doing.
So what she's referring to are these rock piles down here, and they, I just learned, are called cairns. So if you get lost on the trail, just look for the cairn. You know, the one that's going, get off my trail, here's my trail. Can't hike in my backyard.
She's always willing to give you directions.
Yeah, Karen will tell
life,
you exactly
whatever
what
you need.
to do. Yeah, so you want to come here. So if you're afraid of heights and afraid of driving on like sketchy roads or cliffs, then just do the Cog Railroad or a tour.
Or do like
but
me
if you can drive.
and have Thomas drive and you put the blinders on.
If you can drive, driving's the way to go because I think the views are just so much more spectacular if you drive yourself. So, yeah. Oh, you got a penny? Let's see. Cute. Mount Washington Summit. Mel likes penny machines.
I do. They're a great little token of souvenir.
Yeah.
This one was cool. It was the first one I saw. You put $1 in the machine and then it drops the penny in there and you just crank it.
Oh, you get a penny for $1.
I know, right? 99 cents.
Inflation. You want to know the definition of a rough trail. So this part of the trail is marked by white blazes. You can see the white blazes on the rocks. Well, this part is an ankle buster. So today's adventure is the Flume Gorge Trail, the Flume Gorge National Park in New Hampshire. And I don't really know how many times we can say that it's absolutely amazing or breathtaking, but just watch the footage because
I don't even know that the pictures or the video.
So just watch the compilation of footage. It's amazing. You got to come here. You got to come here.
Make sure you check us out on Instagram also.
There's going to be a lot of it on there.
Nearly 200 million years ago, during the Jurassic period, the Conway granite that forms the walls of the flume was deeply buried molten rock. As it cooled, the granite was broken by closely spaced vertical fractures, which I'm out of breath.
The hair is thin here. Well, there's a...
This is a, what does it say?
That's a nice boulder.
That is a huge 300-ton boulder.
That's a nice boulder. What movie is that from? I like that boulder. Nobody will get that.
They really discourage you to bring food on the trail because of the wildlife
bear
activity.
country.
You know, we are in bear country, and the bears don't know boundaries.
Yeah.
But they have a lovely little snack shop in there that I saw.
So you can have some snacks after your hike. It's not a terribly hard hike. I don't know if we have... I mean, we're going pretty far down now, so what goes down must come up, so.
So you can compare the skull sizes of bears. So the larger one here is from a 400-pound black bear, and the smaller one is from a 100-pound black bear.
Oh, okay. I don't know I mean either one of them.
Fairy tale.
It is like a fairy tale. It's kind of hard to explain, really, and I don't know that footage is actually going to do it any justice, but yeah, I'd say the entrance fee was well worth it because
Oh my goodness.
it is it's pretty amazing. Like, it's absolutely crazy. This is just absolutely crazy. I don't really know how. There's a, oh, I see a huge waterfall up there too.
And you know what the best thing is? It's natural.
Yeah, except for, well, these boardwalks. But
Well, yes.
so this is
the-
what your money's going for when you pay, is to upkeep these boardwalks so you can walk through this gorge pretty easily and get up there, and it's just magical. If you don't do this when you're here, then it's your loss. 'Cause
Right, you don't know what you're missing.
I don't even know which way to point the camera.
That.
Just look at this.
It's can-believable.
That's can-believable.
That's can-believable.
That is can-believable.
I don't think that I've ever been somewhere that had more walking trees. You know, the trees that have the legs that grow over rocks,
Right,
kind of like
or grow-
kind of like the
yeah.
banyan trees.
That one in there, like right in there, if you can see it, straight ahead right there on that rock right there.
Oh yeah.
They're all over the place here, just like perched. I guess they grow through the rocks, or they come from under them, or I don't know, but they are. And yet again, we found the penny.
Oh, change available?
Change of, hold on, what have I got in my? I got 50 cents and a shiny penny. Look at me.
Oh my God.
It's destiny.
You're so wonderful.
I am wonderful. Take a look.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so
you're gonna be in
difficulty,
yeah.
moderate.
Moderate.
Some sections moderate, yeah. Most of it is pretty level, and even the section with steps is pretty easy, but there are some short, very steep uphill bursts. So take your time, and there's a lot of benches along the way, right?
Yes, there's lots of places to sit and enjoy the views.
It's something unpredictable.
Oh, but you.
I hope you had the time of your life.